What's up, everyone, and welcome back to Movie Raise. The first Twilight film was released in theaters on November 21st, 2008, and it immediately became a hit. The movie became such a big hit among viewers that it led to an additional 4 films based on novels written by Stephenie Meyer. In today's video, we're going to see what Twilight looks like without CGI. Keep watching to see the shocking footage of Renesmee. Main themes.
Nice meeting you.
After the first movie, we got the Twilight Saga Breaking Dawn Part 2, and even many years after the release, people still talk about the good and the bad sides of the movie. When we say bad sides, we mean issues that have already been described in tons of reviews. According to those reviews, the overly punctuated title, the bold cutting of the last book into 2 films without seeing if there's enough material for it, and the lack of screen chemistry between Kristen Stewart and Robert Pattinson were the main issues the franchise had. However, the movie became an instant hit, and based on how many people have watched it, there must have been something good. Stephenie Meyer said she was scared the final book in the Twilight Saga could never be made because digital technology would have to upgrade to portray the infant Renesmee as she meant to. Well, the baby is certainly something every Twilight fan remembers. We mean, how could they forget it? According to some fans, the baby is the only really scary creature in all 5 films. As fans stated, the baby had nothing human in it. The second Where Bella Met Renesmee was also something that will never leave our thoughts. And of course, there was that end scene with the older Renesmee walking with the Twilight trio on the beach. Too much CGI? We're going to talk about more Renesmee and how the creators managed to make the baby look that bad. Well, we're not being harsh. You're about to see why. The baby.
The baby for a few takes and all of a sudden be magically a different baby.
The Twilight Saga is practically a representation of visual effects. However, there's one detail that everyone remembers for how poor it was. Baby Renesmee, and every single person on Earth can tell this was a CGI baby. Twilight is the beginning of an era for offering a totally separate version of supernatural creatures and a love story that is still controversial. But now we're going to talk about the infamous CGI baby in the Twilight Saga Breaking Dawn Part 2. What the hell happened here? Stephenie Meyer's Twilight book series is about a world where humans, vampires, and werewolves synchronize, even if humans are unconscious about it. However, what fans loved the most was the relationship between vampire Edward Cullen and mortal Bella Swan, which, as we previously said, had a lack of chemistry. Breaking Dawn Part 1 concludes with Bella's transformation, but she meets her daughter, Renesmee, in the next film. Renesmee's debut was something that shocked us, and not because of the story, but because the production crew decided to use a CGI baby, which, as you can see, was a bad idea. Taylor Lautner's suit.
Between our wolf characters and the humans in this case.
Dedicated fans who read the books a couple of times watched the movies multiple times, know many details and facts about the movies. But did you guys know that Taylor Lautner wore a wig and Meyer made a cameo during a scene in the diner? All of Jacob's werewolf scenes were filmed in a very complicated way. The film used a lot of motion capture. Taylor Lautner had to wear this really interesting gray morph suit and act his best way. As you can see here, he had to cope with Kristen Stewart patting him on the head like a dog. And you thought acting was simple and easy? Gosh, what actors had to go through. Nature. Now let's talk about green screening. We're uncertain if these were actual scenes or reshoots. However, we're certain that the creators used a lot of green screen. It sure looks weird now. And if we talk about numbers, well, prepare to be shocked. Worldwide box office, $829 million. Budget, $120 million. A Vulture article in 2011 stated that the budget for both parts of Breaking Dawn would be $263 million. Let that sink in. It's pretty fascinating when you see that a lot of outside scenes in Twilight were filmed inside. For instance, the scene featuring Bryce Dallas Howard as an evil vampire Victoria looks like it's filmed in a beautiful forest. However, that's not the case. Probably the snow on the ground is fake. Writing the werewolf.
60-pound mechanical doll.
Now let's go back to the baby. Why? Because we have to. It's 2021 and maybe the creators think it might have been better to use a baby's face and slowly go into a CGI toddler's. That way it would have looked more natural, right? However, if you compare them, toddler Renesmee is certainly more natural and teen Renesmee is the best they could pull off. At least it looks more realistic. The actress Foy was a very good choice for the part. She's cute, talented, and kind of looks like Edward and Bella's child. Here is how she would have looked without CGI. Riding the werewolf. Oh, did you guys know that after filming an audition, Foy was the only actor that Condon wanted to meet for the role after looking at the tapes? According to Deborah Zane, the casting director. Wolves.
That it was just the wolves in wolf form.
It was never sure if the success of Stephenie Meyer's young adult novels would give to the screen. Back then, it was a huge risk to turn books into movies. However, she made a boom. Also, Kristen Stewart and Robert Pattinson were almost anonymous, and their fame grew overnight, as they went from anonymous to the world's most popular actors back then. Director Catherine Hardwicke had a 44-day shoot and a $37 million budget associated with the going rate of $200 million for such CGI fantasy action movies. In this photo, we can see a different method of filming the werewolves in the Twilight Saga. And yeah, what you're seeing are paper werewolves in the background. Probably they're labels to show the CGI department where to attach the wolves in post-production. Well, it was 2008, and we can all agree they did a pretty good job here, right? The bedroom scene.
Family's in danger, I need your help.
With an increased budget and growing excitement around the Twilight films, each movie looked more real and better than the previous one. Although when Breaking Dawn Part 2 came around, the biggest debate was about Edward Cullen. While having children in the film isn't something hard, they made a CGI version of her as a baby and a toddler. But we've talked about that. Now, this behind-the-scenes photo tells a lot of secrets. We can see Robert Pattinson staring at Kristen Stewart in character as a sleeping Bella. And as you can see, the intimate romantic scene was filmed in front of many crew members and a green screen. It certainly looks weird, and the outcome is amazing compared to the other things that happen in the movie. Now, last but not least, let's get into some interesting facts about Twilight. Did you guys know that Robert Pattinson actually has a long musical history? He actually knows how to play both guitar and piano. Well, in the movie, we heard Bella's lullaby, and the director asked Pattinson to compose it himself. Well, that sounded great. Now, yet another interesting fact. Did you guys know that it all started from a dream and turned into a billion-dollar franchise? That's the case that happened with Twilight. Author Stephenie Meyer has stated the whole idea evolved from a dream she had. It was two people in kind of a little circular meadow with really bright sunlight, and one of them was a beautiful, sparkly boy, and one was just a girl who was human and normal. In an interview Kristen Stewart once did with MTV, she was asked who she would date if she found herself as a real-life student at Forks High School. You all thought her answer was Edward, based on the fact that the two dated IRL. Well, Stewart said, "I love Eric. He's smart, you know? I like nerds. I would only go out with dorks." What do you guys think about the Twilight Saga? Do tell us in the comment section below. If you enjoyed our video, make sure you subscribe to our channel so you never miss any of our videos again. As always, thanks for watching.